Alright, hello Overwatch fans and welcome to a new video where today we are going to be going over the Illari nerfs that have just released in the August 24th, 2023 patch notes. Now, I'm not going to go over the player progression, general updates and the bug fixes because at the moment I don't really understand the player progression update. I'll have to look into that more in depth, but the main component of this is Illari's nerfs, so we're going to go over them instead. So last video I decided to talk over the different potential nerfs that were going to be given to Illari. These were the original nerfs that they were planning on giving to Illari, but changed their mind because it could have been a bit catastrophic. So let's get straight into it then. Alright, let's first go over the developer comments. Illari has had a strong showing since her launch. The following changes are meant to promote a better balance between the healing and damage while adding more counterplay against her ability. We are making the healing pylon weaker as it's often placed out of line of sight or at odd angles and isn't being destroyed as often as we expect. Captive Sun ignoring barriers is not immediately intuitive, but we are also reducing the projectile size, so blocking or destroying will require more precision. Finally, the Sunstruck effect lasts too long to reasonably avoid the detonation damage threshold. So overall, what they've said here is her ultimate ability is very strong at the moment. It can go through barriers, it can be countered quite easily at the moment due to the fact that it has such a large radius. Diva can absorb it, Orisa can absorb it, Sigma can absorb it pretty easily, but they're deciding to reduce its size so that it's less easy to get rid of it, but they're also reeling back its damaging capabilities because obviously it was way too powerful in the beginning. They just wanted to kind of make it a little bit less OP. So let's actually look at the details of these nerfs. So Healing Pylon originally was going to have both of these nerfs, actually. Both of these nerfs are the exact same as what was predicted in the original nerfs. So, heal decreased from 40 to 30. This is per 0.8 seconds. Originally, they were going to change that to every 0.9 seconds, but I guess they took that one out because they thought that would be a bit too much. But shields decreased from 75 to 50. Now, honestly, I'd say it's actually pretty fair. The healing pylon was pretty powerful. People would ignore it. It would just sit there, and if people did try and attack it, it would still get quite a decent bit of healing off before it even died. So the reduction of its health, I would say that is honestly pretty fine. I don't really mind that. The heal decrease, honestly, isn't too bad either. In terms of hero health, if you've got a 200 health hero, 40 HP per 0.8 seconds, within 4 seconds, that is fully healed, 200 health. That's a lot. So I am kind of glad that they did reel that back. Because still, even now, they could still get up to full health within 4 seconds pretty easily. That is really strong, and including how strong her heal is, that is a killer method to just rack up heals very quickly. It is burst healing central right there. So I would say the healing pylon is now quite a bit weaker, but it's not too weak to the point where it is unusable. I would say that it's actually more usable in the way of it's more skill based. So you need to actually think about where you're placing it instead of just throwing out willy-nilly thinking, yeah, that'll do. Alright, so let's finally get into her Captive Sun ability. So originally her Captive Sun would blast through barriers. It would just cover the entire map. It was, well, obviously not, that's an exaggeration, but it was very, very powerful, but had its disadvantage of its size. It was too large. So projectile impact and explosion are now blocked by barriers. So say that you blast it out right in front of a Reinhardt, if he places up his shield, he can protect his entire team. That is actually a really good addition to the game. I thought it, like when I read that it does go through barriers, I didn't really get to test it that much. So when I finally read that, it kind of hit me like, that is incredibly powerful. So I am glad that they added that in. It does make sense. With the projectile size decreased from 1.5 to 0.75 meters. That is a huge decrease, a full 50% decrease in projectile size, which obviously, yeah, it does make it a lot harder to actually absorb the thing when you shoot it out, which also is a really good addition. It should be a lot harder to get rid of instead of just a quick flick of the mouse, Diva, Matrix, gone. Or same with Orisa, same with Sigma, same with any character that can just delete projectiles. So in terms of Sunstruck duration decreased from 7 to 6 seconds. This is also a very fair change. I do agree with this one as well, because Sunstruck, like I said in the last video, it was very annoying being slowed that much and then just exploding. It does get annoying, it's crowd control. So reducing Sunstruck that little bit does help out. It is still quite a long time, but in terms of power, if your team aren't focusing the person who is Sunstruck, so if those people either can't aim and hit the person while Sunstruck's on them, or if they can't focus them as much as you'd want them to, it's obviously going to be a bit annoying. You're just going to be slowed. That's all. The enemy is not going to have a big problem, but in the higher ranks, obviously it is a problem. So let's have a look at it overall. So in terms of the nerfs, they are very fair. I agree with them, I like them. It does reduce her power, but not by too much, because obviously she is still very powerful. She can do 150 healing, not even her own healing, within 4 seconds, and then adding on her huge heals from her weapon. That's an insane combo. The shields being decreased from 75 to 50, that is also a decent change. I don't mind that too much. Obviously, I did test out Illari earlier, post nerfs, so you can see that in the background now. That's been going on in the background for this entire time, and I have to say, she is still a powerful character. She is still S tier. She was probably like best character in the game before. I would say she was one of the best characters before this nerf. Obviously that's in terms of player preference, but she is still very powerful. She is still an S tier character, and I would still say that she is one of the most powerful units in the game. So overall, I'd say those are some good nerfs. I'll have to look into what the player progression general update is, but if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It's not required, but it's always appreciated. Leave a comment down below on what you think about the new Illari balances, and if you want, tell me a bit about this player progression update, because I'm not too sure what it means at the moment. I can't really get in my head. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one in a bit.